Guys, what's up? This is John, Gamester81. I'm one of the co-owners of CollectorVision Games and one of the project leads for this game, City Hunter and the Curse of the Mayan. And this is a walkthrough over the first temple. This is Temple of Xbalanque. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. He's the Jaguar god. So at this point, I went through the Chichen Itza, the first level, and defeated that gate boss. This guy's basically explaining to me the hap calendar. There's 5 sacred days called a way hap, which is actually a real thing in Maya culture, and basically what happened at that point when I passed the first temple, or first level rather, the hap calendar got broken into 7 different pieces. The 4 idols were taken, and so this guy Zenfu is basically explaining to me kind of what's going on here. So they're looking for the Maya, they're looking for Sydney's help to get pieces of the hap calendar back, find everything, and basically save time from ending. So Kukulkan is kind of the main feathered serpent boss. So in this game there's a lot of bosses or gods you fight. We did a lot of research. A lot of the graphics here you'll see are actually inspired by actual Maya artwork and architecture. Jaguar Sun Temple. I believe he's in the game Smite. If you ever played Smite, I believe he's one of the gods in there too. This guy's kind of explaining that, don't basically go to this guy, you're not going to come back, it's not going to be good. He's quick to attack. I really like the level, or the music in this level. The music's done by Ben Allen, shout out to him. Also, the programming is done by Russ Kumro. We're a very small team at CollectorVision Games. I'd say there's really 5 or 6 of us core that worked on this game. We had a handful of people playtesting. This game took over 5 years to develop from start to finish. If you weren't aware, it started off initially as an NES game. It became too evolved, and it was really heavily inspired by a game called Montezuma's Revenge, which came out for the Commodore 64. I believe it came out for the ColecoVision, other classic consoles and computers in the time. Right now, Sydney only has a whip. Later on, he does get other weapons. You got to watch out for these bats. They will follow you. If they get too close, you can duck and they'll hover above you, but they'll fly away. They're not going to hover above you forever. There's a lot of hidden blocks. The key of this game, you got to kind of know where to break these blocks. You can kind of distinguish them, eventually get kind of used to it. These skulls are going to be really important to collect because you need those to unlock various items in the game, right? Various levels, rather, various temples. Gems you can use to purchase meals from Mayan later on. Here's a safe spot. Here is gems. I just realized in the other room I didn't go left. I missed an area. Nothing important that I missed at this point, but still missed an area. Kind of weird that I missed that. Anyway, so kill these bats. They only take 1 hit, which is good. There is fall damage in the fire and spikes. You will automatically die. You start off with 3 hearts, obviously, in the game. Later on with the meals, you can add up a heart. Just like in Zelda, you can gain hearts up to 3 more hearts, total 6. So there are certain keys. So here we go. Now I gotta go back, and that's kind of to show you. That's taken from Montezuma's Revenge. If you ever played that game, there's certain colored keys that match up to certain colored gates in the game. So now I gotta go back. I'll save it again. So if I were to die, that's where I would start. If I had any heart damage or health damage, I would replenish that. It automatically replenishes that, which is nice. These rats are kind of hard to see. They kind of blend in with the background a little bit, but this is the area I missed. And there's a key here. So you get the pineapple. Pineapple helps with hearts. Basically, there's these obsidian blocks. I cannot break these blocks. I gotta get a special relic. There are 12 relics in the game. Right now I don't have it. So there is some parts, kind of Metroidvania parts of the game where you can go back and get more skulls. If you're a completionist, I believe there's like around 107 skulls total. You need 100 total to enter the last level in the game, Portal of the Gods. So, but so that we did add a few extra skulls, kind of like I guess in Mario 64, things like that, when you have to get the stars and stuff like that, right? So same kind of thing. Those elixirs, that helps me with my health. Right now I have that equipped, so if I needed it, I would just hit the Y button to use that. I am playing this on Switch. It also came out for Steam. It's also available on Humble Bundle, and we are working on ports for the PS4 as well as Xbox One, etc. So a handful of platforms that we have it on. Those diamonds, those yellow diamonds, there's limited. I think there's like 36, 37 of them in the game. They're each 175 gems, so they're important to get. Again, if you're a completionist, they're kind of scattered around. And before you enter each level, it will tell you how many skulls are in each level. It will tell you how many special items, how many keys, and how many diamonds are in each level. So you're not going into the level blind, certainly. There's the pineapple. I love pineapples. Kind of reminds me of those Dole Whips at Disneyland. The ice cream is super good. There's another skull. I'm not quite sure how many skulls are in this particular level. This ghost here was taken from a ghost in City Hunter and the Caverns of Death, which is for Super Nintendo. He's one of the enemies in that game that we just carried him over to this one. There's another safe spot. These these scorpions used to drop down the vine. We changed that programming, so if you're directly been underneath them, they used to drop down on you. I think occasionally they might, in that those ghosts only take 2 hits, but in Caverns of Death, I think they take like 7 hits. And you only have a boomerang in that game, not a whip. So it's a kind of a prequel to this one, so to speak. But we have plenty of pineapples scattered throughout this level. This is the first temple, as I mentioned before, so we wanted to make it not too challenging for people. But these pots, kind of taken from like Castlevania, they break up in gems. You know, I think Shovel Knight was a big inspiration for us too, as well in this game, making this. Those skulls right there in the background, those are actually directly taken from an image we saw on Google with Mayan kind of artwork architecture. You hit the start button there. I know it was kind of quick, but it kind of shows you your health. There's like a Resident Evil kind of health meter. Also shows your items and how many keys you have, skulls, etc. in case you're curious. You also here's this there's NPCs kind of scattered throughout the game too. This guy's kind of, hey, there's something pushed against the wall. Basically, it's a hint that you need to break that wall. So I'll go and do that. Get the red key. Here's one of the first relics you get. Well, second relic, technically. The first relic was a book that helps translate the Mayans, because initially when you start the game, they're kind of speaking Mayan to you. So this is the second relic you get in the game. This is taken from like Zelda. Cool. Kakak. I think it's a Kakak template. That tablet. That's actually in Maya, the word Mayan language. That means fire. So it's technically the fire tablet. And at this point in the game, we really don't know what it's used for. You'll find that out later on. But it's a very important thing you'll need to progress in the game. So make sure you explore. My advice is explore every room. You can play the game, collect all the skulls without having to go back. So just be aware. So there is some Metroidvania parts, but it's not overkill, and you can just play linearly through the game without having to go back, as long as you get all the skulls. This guy's kind of funny. He's like, hey, apparently there was a Canadian that was traveling through here, and my work colleagues are Canadian, so I think that's kind of homage to them. Basically, he's just saying there's a lot of screaming. There's the sun god here. Make sure you jump from the bottom there. Don't jump from the top, because you will fall into the fire. There's another skull. Quite a few skulls in this level. This particular part of the game reminds me of DuckTales. I think it was kind of the Amazon stage. I think it was kind of inspired from that for sure. And here's a safe spot. Now a little tip here. You'll notice you have a safe spot, and then you'll notice there's going to be another green cylinder here, or elixir. The key is if you die, you can get the elixir first and then save it. And then you can just keep accumulating elixirs. We did that intentionally, so to not make it, again, as challenging for people. So it's kind of a pro tip there. Is if you keep dying, get elixir first, then save it, opposed to saving and get the elixir. Because if you save it before the elixir, you'll lose that item. Whereas if you save it afterwards, you keep it, right? So this is Kinut Hawa. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. This is the sun god. So him and Kikokin are kind of the main bad bosses or gods in the game. And he's powering this guy. He's got him kind of, I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely got him like, I don't know. He's controlling him, basically, right? He's got mind control over him. These bosses, these boss battles or god battles are obviously inspired by Mega Man. You'll notice that. And halfway through, they'll change their attack. This lightning ball will take away 2 hearts, so you have to be really careful. It will heat seek you, so kind of know where you're at. So just make sure you jump. Notice how he's running differently, too, now. This boss is pretty challenging because you only have a whip. Later on, you get a spear. It makes it a lot easier. Here is the first part of the counter, so it automatically whip, or it automatically warps you to the hab counter room here. And it will appear in the middle, so now you got, it kind of shows your progress throughout the game. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen Shadows of Colossus, but that game is kind of inspired by that. This part is inspired by that game where once you beat a god, the statue crumbles. And this is the first temple. So thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'll put links to the game below. Appreciate your guys' support. If you play the game, please let me know in the comments below. We'll see you guys soon. Take care, and game on.